Hey, Christian here, founder of Second Life Coaching and host of the Hot Mess Express podcast. This is take 2, so bear with me. You've probably seen a lot of noise recently on social media and in the news about this new Netflix series called 13 Reasons Why. A lot of criticism about how it supposedly glorifies suicide, how people, are suggesting you don't watch it, how you kind of avoid it, and how it needs a trigger warning, and really kind of a bunch of nonsensical criticisms. Now, let me put this out straight. I am not a mental health professional. I don't pretend to be one. I don't suppose to be one. However, I am a parent who has dealt with the challenges of raising a child with emotional and mental health issues. And my point about 13 Reasons Why is, and it's vital that parents should watch it, especially watch it with their kids, is because it's a great commentary on a lot of what society is today. It's a great commentary on bullying, on isolation, on the lack of mental health professionals in schools, on parent-child relationships, on rape culture, on privilege of those higher up in the social structure of schools, like athletes and such, and how we're all kind of connected, and how we don't realize, you don't realize what your actions or your words can have on someone else all the time. Something you may think is innocent fun or a little bit of teasing or hazing can have a dramatic effect on someone's mental stability. Now, I want to address a little bit about this trigger warning nonsense that I see going around about this. This is a series about suicide. It's a series about someone who left behind audio tapes about the 13 reasons why they committed suicide. It's told from, her point of view, mostly. And, I'm not sure exactly what kind of trigger warning people needed to understand that a story about suicide, about rape, about mental health and emotional challenges actually needed. I mean, it's pretty obvious when you read, you can go online and read the synopsis of the story, you can read the episode synopsis, and, it tells you. So, yeah, I don't get that. But as a parent who has raised a child with, mental and emotional challenges, it was tough to watch. It was tough to watch because as parents, a lot of time we feel pretty helpless. We feel stuck. We feel like there's not a whole lot that we can do. That, we're doing everything we can to reach out to our kids, and we're being stonewalled. And it leaves us a lot of times stuck, frustrated, lost, and it's a tough place to be. I'm going to take a seat here for a sec. And it really is. It's a tough place to be. Now, a few years ago, as my daughter was going through her challenges, I have to excuse the bedhead, you could see all the signs. As parents, you can read the signs, even some of the less obvious ones. And it's scary. It's frightening as hell. And a couple of years ago, it all came down to a giant argument in the living room. And she was threatening to hurt herself. And we ended up calling the police because we had no idea else what to do. And that's not, Even though I'm not entirely convinced that she would have, as a parent, you can't really take that risk. You know, you can't say, well, she's not serious or he's not serious, because it only takes once for them to be serious, and it becomes a life of regret. After a couple days stays, actually almost a week stay in a facility, we would, we were always on edge as parents. If she was in the bath too long or in the shower too long, I'd knock on the door, and just make sure she was okay. We'd poke in on her when she'd kind of isolate herself in her bedroom for periods of time to make sure she was okay. During school, we'd kind of poke around or if she was out of the house, we'd kind of poke around her room, just looking for things to make sure she was okay. And she was not open to a lot of discussion, not open to a lot of talking. But you know what? As a parent, you can't take that chance. You can't take that chance of coming home and finding your child in a bathtub or, hung from the ceiling or, anything else, because, you just can't. That's your child. That's your flesh and blood. That's, as parents, we're to protect them. We're to keep them safe, and you do all you can to keep them safe. Even if sometimes it pisses them off, by going through their stuff. But that's not, I would much rather her be pissed off at me for going through her stuff than to had not gone through her stuff and something happened. Now, also in this movie, there's a hierarchy of, in school culture, which has existed since, I don't know, the dawn of time, and how, certain people are treated with deference, and kind of their bad actions are blown off because they're popular. They're or they've come from or they're athletes that bring a lot of prestige to the school. And it talks about that, which is a difficult thing to overcome in schools. It's been around forever, and I hate to say it, but it's kind of the way things are. That's something that's got to change. There was the counselors who didn't do a whole lot of anything when confronted with the evidence and the stories of what was going on, and that happens. They're hamstrung by policy or rules and regulations. And then you've got the teachers who talk about certain things but aren't able to get into too much depth with them because of overcrowded classrooms, and they're overworked. And you've got kids that don't talk to parents that they feel, the kids that feel that their parents don't understand them. They feel isolated and alone, even though they're not. But they feel like their parents can't understand what's going on. Although I'd wager money that a lot of parents have been through something like that know what's going on, or know how to or know how to take action and move things forward. It was a very difficult series to watch for us. It was heavy, and for a lot of reasons, the criticism kind of pisses me off, because it's a lot of it is based in, well, I didn't like it, so nobody should watch it. But there's a lot of parents that I know who have been through things like this, who have been through challenges with their children, who see themselves in the parents of the girl who killed themselves, who, it's life is hard, it's stressful, and we don't always catch everything, but we do the damn best we can. And that's kind of what being a parent is you do the best you can, and hope that you're not screwing up too tremendously badly. I mean, you can tell this is not an easy thing for me to talk about. It's not an easy video to shoot, because it reminded me of a lot of what we went through a few years ago. And the scene where she does commit suicide in the bathtub is graphic, and I don't understand how that glorifies it in the least. It made me wince, and it was my nightmare brought to the screen. So this is an important series. It is important to watch with your kids. It's important to talk about with them. And so it is my recommendation as a parent who's dealt with challenges like this, who hasn't, who fortunately, thank God, didn't have the tragic ending that this did, that you watch this with your kids, you talk about what's going on in their schools, you poke around and you get under their skin and involved in their lives, because you're the last line of defense, and I would hate for another parent ever to have to go through what was depicted in the movie, to lose their child to suicide because they didn't dig hard enough, they didn't poke hard enough, they weren't invasive enough in their kids' lives. They didn't to see what was going on and get help before it was too late. So that's it for me. And head back in and have another cup of coffee. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. So if you like this video, leave a comment. If you think I'm full of shit, you can shoot me an email, christian@secondlifecoaching.com. We can discuss this. So as always, folks, take care, hug your kids, because you know what? They need it.